This is Group 9 presenting an assignment that has been tasked to us to discuss about intramembranous ossification. Before I proceed, my name is Omoding Anthony, pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, Year 1. We are discussing about intramembranous ossification, and the ossification here simply refers to a process of bone formation, and it is divided into two categories. We have intramembranous ossification and endochondral. So when you look at the intramembranous ossification, we are looking at the process of bone formation from cells, and we have in this class mesenchymal cells.
Good morning once more. I'm by the name Moru Augustine. So to continue from where my colleague has stopped, that's in group 9, I will continue from the mesenchymal stem cells, which are from embryonic tissue formed from the mesoderm during embryonic development, and they undergo under the three processes. One is clustering. Clustering means coming together. The bones will come together to parasites. Then we come to the condensation. Condensation means growing bigger, for the bone to grow bigger. And then the third one is differentiation, which will result to osteoprogenitor cells or a precursor cells, which actually in this case there is no much action for formation.
My name is Ahmed Lucy, and I'm going to continue from where my colleague stopped. I'm going to continue from cells, which come together to form osteoblasts. These osteoblasts, they are bone-forming cells, and they cluster together to form osteoid, which is initially unmineralized. These are the osteoids which were clustered together, and from here they come and they be mineralized from this osteoid by calcium, causing the bone, causing to form the bone.
Now, after the osteoid has been mineralized by calcium, there is a trabeculae formation. These are spicules. Now, spicules are spongy bone network or cancellous bone. Now, in here, a simple description of the spicules could be air sacs trapped in bone, numerous air sacs. And a specific example would be an anthill. If you looked at an anthill and you dug up an anthill, the structure in which ants form their anthill is very similar to the spongy bone network that we have here. Now, this spongy bone network will fill up with the hematopoietic tissue that gives us the osteoclasts, the bone-destroying cells that are responsible for remolding bone. And the trabeculae, in this case, is lined by the endosteum, which is the opposite of the periosteum. Now, as this is happening, we are having, as calcium is being deposited and hardening is occurring, we are having some osteoblasts around here being trapped within the bone matrix. Now, as these osteoblasts are being trapped within the bone matrix, they give rise to the osteoclasts. They give rise to the osteocytes, and this transition is through a positional growth. It's just a transition from osteoblasts to osteocytes. Now, these osteocytes are the bone maintenance cells. We are currently here. They are bone maintenance cells, and they multiply through interstitial growth by mitosis. That is making copies of themselves. Exact cells making copies of themselves. Unlike osteoblasts, which are just forming the osteocytes by a positional growth. I think that's it.
Thank you once again for our presenter and next presenter, Martin Cecilia. I'm going to talk about how mesenchymal cells at the outer surface condense to form the periosteum, which is the covering of the bone surface, except in the articular cartilage of the joint. As we see these pictures, as we can see from this diagram, this is the area where the periosteum lining is. It doesn't attach itself at the articular cartilage. So these are the areas. So it stops within here to this end. The rest of this part, it is called the articular cartilage. Then it leads to the formation of the compact stroke dense bone. Finish the what? The periosteum. As we say, the periosteum is the outer part of the bone. It's the outer part of the bone. So the compact bone plates form while the interior remains spongy bone. Heavy calcium deposition increases rigidity and heavy of the bone. This here, in this process here, now the bone becomes hard and it helps to, as they say, it helps in what? Increasing rigidity and the hardness, so to make it stronger. Thank you.
Now, that is a brief description of how intramembranous ossification works. However, why intramembranous ossification? Intramembranous ossification, compared to endochondral ossification, it occurs much more faster. Therefore, we have the urgency required to address protection of vital body organs, such as, say, the heart, the lungs, and the brain. So, as you see here, intramembranous ossification occurs much more faster than endochondral and can offer protection to our vital body organs. In the embryo, as the embryo is developing, we have the organs that are being formed. The brain, it needs immediate protection to prevent it from being damaged. So that's why we have examples of such bones, including flat bones, like bones of the skull. Here we have a skull, I think it's of a cow. Now, this skull is used to protect the brain. It stands here. The brain falls around somewhere around here, where the brain is being protected by the skull. Flat bones are these. If you see it, it's somehow flat on top. That is it. Then besides it, we can also have the scapula. The scapula now lies, you may not know, it lies around here at the back. It protects our heart from the back. If someone is to try and say, if something is to try and penetrate from the back, say from here, if it tries to penetrate, it will meet the scapula. Okay? Now the scapula is there to give us protection at the back.
Good morning, members. Here I'm called Yuki Maker. We are looking at the flat bones, whereby we chance to get the example, the jaw bone as the example of a flat bone, which is used to support the skull. And here also we have a rib cage. This one, it is used for supporting our internal organs like lungs, liver, and so on.